I'm a resident of this building since 1986. My experience in this building is like a living hell. Let's start with this area right here. For some reason unknown, this area is always sinking, people. You can see it's kind of hard to pick up, but there is a depression right here. Okay? It's always sinking. So I'm going to identify the various safety issues. Okay? We see the corporation and its management continue to be clueless in terms of signage. The signs make no sense. There's a sign saying to stop. Stop where? It doesn't make any sense. Now, in terms of drive slow, deep drain, yes, there's a deep drain, but they refuse to fix it. That's exactly what I started off with in giving you the context. They're calling it a deep drain because they refuse to repair it. When I was condominium president, it was repaired so that the drivers leaving our building with low profile cars didn't have to be so distracted and careful to prevent the bottom of the car from hitting the pavement, because that's exactly what happened to some vehicles, people. All right? So I'm going to tell you why it's a huge safety concern, and they've intentionally ignored my request to fix it. And I am the safety expert. All right? So here's what's literally going on. Most of these vehicles, including the buses, they speed. All right? See, the bus just accelerated. They speed. So now, as we're exiting, as we're exiting to get onto Eglinton, the driver is distracted in this area, worrying about the sinkhole touching the bottom of the car. He has to look at these people coming this way, and sometimes they're also distracted coming this way, right? And then he's got to focus over here, these people. Now, this is an incline. Trying to get onto Eglinton. Okay? It's an accident waiting to happen. I cannot put it any plainer. You see what's going on here? It's an accident waiting to happen. Okay, people? Accident waiting to happen. Okay? All right. So let me give you the context. So they've refused to fix this. Here's another problem. Another big problem with this building are the potholes. We got 3,000 people, students and parents, taking a shortcut to this school. And they refuse to fix the potholes. They play a game with bylaw. This is the only parking lot in Scarborough that has never been resurfaced since 1979. Since 1979 has never been resurfaced. All right? Potholes everywhere. I've asked them, when are you going to fix it professionally? And they ignore me. So pothole right here, pothole right here, pothole right there, pothole right here, more pothole right here, uneven surface right here, over here, right here, All these patches, all the patches, they were done by our super. Our super is not a pavement expert. Not a pavement expert, people. Potholes right here. Every time the superintendent, uneven surface right here. So this is what they do. They get our superintendent to do these patches, and I will tell you what happened as soon as the patches are done. They start falling apart. Okay, they start falling apart. Like this. Patches falling apart. Like this. You can see patches. Watch. The cars are coming over and the patches are falling apart. Okay, people? Patches are falling apart. More uneven surface right here. Look at this one. Look at this one. How would you like to be paying high maintenance fee and having a board and various management company who just ignore you when you say we need to do the right thing, especially for the 3,000 people, parents and children, who walk through our property to go to the junior Cedar Drive Public School right here? How would you like for one of these kids running, kids run, to slip and fall on uneven surface? I have documented numerous incidents. I've engaged property standard, but guess what, people? It's a game. It's a regular game. So the property standard issues a compliance order. Oh yeah. They do a rough patch. It falls apart over and over. I ask them to fix it. They don't. And I don't like going to MLS. I don't like bringing in bylaw, because there is a fiduciary duty where if you are a volunteer on a condominium board, or if you are a certified property management company, it should really be a safety first policy, but not in our building, people. Not in our building. I am the acting chair of an owners action committee since 2007. We are an advisory group, but guess what? They ignore our advice, or they use the recommendation, but they've never once said thank you. They've never once acknowledged our presence. They act as if we don't exist. It's awful, people. I'm going to continue my video to give you some further context, okay? So our building was built in 1979, okay? This building, 3400 Eglinton Avenue East, was built before our building. So technically, they put up the fence. I'm going to show you the original fence, okay? There might have been some repairs over the years, okay? I'm not too sure about that. But this is their fence. Owned by them, nothing to do with us, okay? But what happened over the years, residents started using our building as a shortcut. We can see an area right here. It's easy to hop over this fence, people. And let me say this. We've had criminals walking through our property. We got just ordinary people, seniors, kids, using our building as a shortcut. Okay, people? Let me give you further context. When I became the president of the board, I did a research and I found out that while the public was using our property as a shortcut from Eglinton to the school and beyond, we had a legal right to keep the gate closed, okay? We had a legal right to close the gate. But what I said to my fellow directors, let's be good neighbors and allow access to the public, okay? My kids are grown. My 5 grandkids do not live in the area. So I have no special interest in terms of needing a shortcut to the school, okay? So what I said to the board, let's ask the parents, because they're the ones with the kids. Some of us don't have kids on the board. When should we open the gate? And when should we close it? We were a democratic board. In our building right now, in my opinion, it's like a dictatorship. It's like a bullying. It's like an intimidation. And sometimes people are being harassed. Okay? And this is not feelings or emotion. I can provide evidence as to what's going on with this gate. Okay, people? Evidence. I go by evidence. And in terms of evidence, I am known as the person in Toronto to pull the emails, to pull the videos, the text. And I can go back sometimes 20 years. Why do I do this? We have a culture of liars. We have a culture of deniers. And especially sometimes the public servants who are paid to serve us people. I have a problem with that. So to protect my character, reputation, and my brand of being a very authentic person, an honest person, I have to document stuff. So when they come at me, we deal with evidence. You can call me names, who cares? You can have a bias against me, who cares? But when I deal with property standard and safety, I deal with evidence. So let me give you some further context. Let me give you context, people. So we had some problems in this area. The fence was down. At one time, this section of the fence was flat. So I kept advocating, and they refused to repair it. Then I was told by the current president that they plan to use our fencing that during the window installation acted as a barrier around this building, okay? So guess what? And I was happy. They used our paid for fence and they repaired it. So what's my point? In this case, we did the repair. I doubt very much that the property next to ours, 3400, went 50-50. I've never heard of that, but I will check that out. I think we just did this fence at our expense. And so what if they went 50-50? Because I'm going to give you further context. Now look at this parking lot. It's a rental building. And they have been responsible enough to pave their parking lot, mark the parking spots, and people can see where to park. It's a rental building. Ours is a condominium. So let me give you further context. Further context. Further context, people. Further context. You can see the faint yellow. For safety reason, I recommended that they paint the curb. Current board president, it wasn't clear if he was committed. He did say it's going to be painted. But I assure you, in our storeroom, we don't even have paint. We don't even have paint, people. The way this condominium is being managed, or in my opinion, mismanaged, is holding the residents, people like myself, at bloody ransom. Okay? Let me give you further context. No one could see this chain at night. And it took them ages to follow my recommendation to make it safe to paint it. It took ages for them to at least paint it. I said to them, some of us as residents will not be running through the fence, hurting ourselves, but because our building is used as a shortcut, you need to paint it. Every single management company, I asked them to go over there because that condominium has been always complicit in following standards. Not this building. Anyway, they paint this one. You can see when was the last time these people even marked the parking spots. And we're spending a lot of condominium fees. And the more we spend, we are asking, what are you doing with our money? What are we doing with our money? Let me give you the context, people. There was an issue with Toronto Fire in terms of code. Our building has a generator in the basement that had to be replaced. So $200,000 later, here it is. Good looking. And this is the same fencing that I showed you over there. Because the condominium purchased this fencing, which is kind of unusual. Normally the contractor supplies fencing when they're hired to do a window replacement. But anyway, we bought them and I'm happy that they recycle them. Okay? So you can see the same fencing has been recycled to use as a barrier to protect the generator. Okay, people? Let me give you further context. Context is important in what I do. I've developed a high level of expertise in terms of community safety and advocacy to make these buildings safe, okay? In Scarborough Village, that's from Golf Club Road and Kingston Road, all the way down on Kingston Road to Midland, all the way back to the lake, including Hill Crescent, and from Kingston Road and Eglinton all the way down to Bellamy, across from we go across from the Swiss Chalet around the corner to 126 Bellamy. Let's go back now to Eglinton and Markham. We go from there according to the overpass to 419 Markham Road, etc., etc. That is Scarborough Village, people. And I've been a resident since 1986. Further context. We have at least 20 sections of fence sitting here. Sitting here, people. And let's talk about my safety advocacy. This is the exit door, just in case a fire broke out, from the exercise room, the men's exercise sauna room. People, you won't believe this. This crap was right here. Right here, people. And you're telling me we hired a certified property management company. We have 7 directors on the board. And I did the job for them. Without any recognition, without any pay, because I believe every building should be safe. A lot of these buildings in Scarborough Village has no security guard. Toronto housing. I will deal with Toronto housing and the issues I identify in a separate video, because I got a story to tell about the housing as well, you know? Let me give you further context. This video is about fencing mainly, as you can see. All right. So going 5 months ago, our superintendent advised management that the fence I'm approaching was broken people, really, really bad. Now let's talk about the school. Let's talk about the school. Cedar Drive Junior Public School has a lot of students from our building, and all these buildings, all the neighborhood buildings, this building, Cougar Court over here, right? So everyone loves a shortcut. Everyone loves a shortcut, people. So our superintendent advised the management, imagine this, that the school children were hopping over the fence as a shortcut. Let me go closer to the fence, people. Let me go. This is not real, people. You can't even imagine what we're going through in this building. All right? So this is the fence. Broken. People, I have 2 sons. And I was a protective father. I wasn't a bully. I treated my kids from they were babies as if they were like Einstein. I programmed them to be positive, to believe in the philosophy that you can achieve anything in life, and to be entrepreneurial. And that's exactly who my sons are. I don't have to worry about them financially. They're very stable. They've done far better than me in life, because I'm the consummate volunteer who is doing a thankless job for so many years. I'm not the person in the city that will ever get an award from these people. They know what I do. But they have an attitude. Because if I must, and I have, I will call them out publicly, because they're public servants. And when they act in a very disrespectful manner, I will call you out. And I have a democratic right to call them out. I won't say go F this and F that, because I'm educated, people. Me can chat the Jamaican patois. Me can tell them about them bumbleclot. No, that's not me, people. I can do that too, right? There are 2 sides of me, bro. I lived in the ghetto in Jamaica from I was born to age 10 and a half. I know 2 lives. And there are 2 sides to me. And I'm going to tell you, people, my other personality scares even me. I have to be honest with you. I've always been transparent. There's a side to me, people. I can get as nasty as they do. I can get as dirty as they do. But guess what? You got to keep it professional. So if I'm calling them out, I'm saying, you're not doing your job. Let's focus on the fence. I can talk about these things for like 1 year. And people do listen. I don't know why people listen, but they do listen, right? Okay, back to this fence. So our super told management, we need to fix the fence 5 months ago. So I agree. I said, wait a sec. So we've got students from this school, which is Cedar Drive Junior Public School, jumping the fence? Oh, no. As I said, I was a protective father. And I can imagine when my kids were in junior public school, people, this is metal, you know, sharp. The foot could get caught up in between here, people. How would I feel if my sons, first of all, my sons wouldn't be jumping in the fence because I raised them properly. So I'm just being hypothetical. All right, people? I'm talking about the other kids. Their parents didn't tell them to go the long way. In fact, the parents probably don't even know they've been jumping this fence. Look at these people, sharp metal, okay? So, I went to management, a certified property management company. The board is aware, the 7 directors are aware, and guess what? They refuse to fix the fence. Refuse. And guess why they refuse, people? Because 5 Cedar Drive in front of Tim Horton at Cedar Drive and Eglinton was built in 1970. So this is their fence. Because there was nothing on this land until our building was built in 1979. And it's the same thing over there. That's also an original fence. But we use our fencing material, which I showed you. I showed you protecting the generator. I showed you in the enclave outside the men's sauna exercise room. And I showed you the fence that was installed over there. So why wouldn't a responsible, in my opinion, management company and board do the right thing and just use a fence and fix this problem? I won't get into what I believe are personal reasons, because bias is hard to prove. Intimidation is hard to prove. Harassment is hard to prove, right? Hard to prove for some people, but I've documented the proof. I've been a target in this building because when it comes on to safety, I don't compromise that, people. I do not compromise that. Because I've met too many people who, because of one slip and fall, guess what, people? Their lives were changed forever. I'll give you an example. At one time, I dabbled in house cleaning. And I gotta say this, I think I'm the best in Toronto. You know, most Jamaicans were taught how to clean. We clean underneath our beds. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. If you're Jamaican, you know exactly what I'm saying. We know how to clean, right? So, just opposite Humber College in Etobicoke, I got a job. And the lady had this lovely stepladder. I've never seen a stepladder like that in my life. It had railings, people, and I could literally pick it up with one finger, people, okay? And I said, ma'am, man, I really love your stepladder. I had my own, but it wasn't as nice as this one. She said, I gotta tell you a story why I have this stepladder. People, she went on a chair wearing her socks to change a light bulb, which a lot of people do at home, right? Don't ever do that. Don't be climbing on chairs to change light bulbs or to clean your wall. Don't be doing that, people. Guess what? She fell. And since she fell, the reason why she had to hire me to clean the house, she could no longer bend from her waist down. Okay, people? One fall. And because I have numerous experience, I am a safety advocate, and I will tell you this, most accidents happen in the home, and I will tell you why. You're more relaxed. When you're at work, you know, they may have a safety committee, you may see signs about this and that. You know, people are just more aware on the job. Most accidents happen in the house. That's been my experience. So people, I've exposed publicly what is happening in this building, because I'm a bit frustrated as well with the game they play with the bylaw, with the property standard people. It's a game. It's a game, people. My next video will talk about the swimming pool and what I believe could have been a tragic occurrence in the pool. I'm going to do that one. But I'm sure you get the points I made today. And guess what? In Scarborough Village, there are at least 32 high-rise buildings, including buildings owned by Toronto Housing. And wait until I talk about that one. It's not good, people. It's not good. It's not good. And it's good that Mayor Chow and Deputy Mayor Paul Ainsley is going to be, I think it's next Thursday, at the rec center to talk about tenants' rights and all of that good stuff. It's a good step. I'm going to be there if I can make it. Right? But one way or the other, I intend to put the word out. And if I have to do so publicly, I will. I will, people. I have that right. Have a good day, people. Have a blessed day.